exactly 11:47 p.m. on Christmas Eve, every light on Maple Avenue went dark. Every light except one. People noticed. They always did. Snow slid down fire escapes, car alarms slept, and the city held its breath the way it only does at night, when even the loudest places feel fragile. The single glowing window belonged to an old brownstone everyone pretended not to see. No decorations, no music, no wreath. Just a steady amber light, burning like it was waiting for something or someone. Across the street, Maya Carter paused mid-step, grocery bags cutting into her fingers. She wasn't planning to stop. She had deadlines, a half-decorated apartment, and a voicemail from her mother she wasn't ready to return. But the light pulled at her. Quiet, stubborn, impossible to ignore. The building had a history people whispered about, and then changed the subject. Fires, loss, a man who never left. Naya exhaled, fog blooming in the cold. Somewhere inside that window, a clock chimed once. And for reasons she couldn't explain, Maya knew, before the night was over, that light would change everything she thought she knew about Christmas and herself. Maple Avenue looked like progress had tried to erase it and failed. New cafes sat beside boarded-up laundromats. A luxury condo rose where a movie theater once stood. The city moved forward, but the street remembered. Maya had grown up nearby, back when Christmas meant block parties and extension cords strung between windows. Now, people hurried past one another with headphones in, eyes down, lives compressed into screens. She adjusted her coat and kept walking, but her eyes betrayed her, flicking back to the lit window. "Don't," she muttered to herself. Her phone buzzed. A text from Jonah, her editor. "Draft still missing. Tomorrow morning. Don't disappoint me." Maya swallowed. She'd built her career on stories that made people feel things she herself avoided. Grief, hope, faith. As she reached her apartment door, a sound drifted down the street. Soft, uneven piano notes. Not a song. More like someone searching for one. She stopped again. The notes came from the brownstone. Maya closed her eyes. She didn't believe in signs, but the city had a way of pushing back when you ignored it too long. She turned around. The door wasn't locked. That alone should have sent her running. The hallway smelled like dust and pine cleaner, the kind used in places that hadn't been redecorated since the 90s. Old photos lined the walls, families smiling, kids on shoulders, Christmas trees glowing. Every frame stopped abruptly 10 years ago. "Hello?" Maya called. The piano stopped. Footsteps approached slowly, deliberately. A man appeared at the top of the stairs, tall but folded inward, like life had pressed too hard on him. Gray threaded his beard. His eyes were sharp and tired. "You're early," he said. "I think you've got the wrong—" "The light brings people," he interrupted. "Always does." Naya hesitated. "Who are you?" "Walter." He gestured to the piano. "I play on Christmas Eve, for those who still listen." Maya should have left. Instead, she felt her throat tighten. "I heard the music," she said. Walter nodded as if that explained everything. "Then you're meant to stay," he replied. Walter offered tea in mismatched mugs. The living room was frozen in time. Tinsel from a decade ago. A tree without ornaments. A single star leaning sideways at the top. "I don't decorate anymore," he said, noticing her glance. "Why keep the tree?" Maya asked. Walter stared at it too long. Because some things don't stop being true just because they hurt. He explained the rules calmly, like reading house guidelines. The light stays on until midnight. The piano plays when the street goes quiet. No gifts, no prayers, no explanations. And at 12, Maya asked. Walter smiled faintly. At 12, we see what's left. Outside, footsteps passed. Laughter. A siren in the distance. Maya felt like she'd stepped into a pocket of the city time forgot. What happened here? She asked gently. Walter shook his head. Not yet. The clock ticked louder. For the first time in years, Maya wasn't thinking about her career, her phone, or the life she kept postponing. She was thinking about that light and why she couldn't look away. They came quietly, one by one. A delivery driver who claimed he needed to use the bathroom but stayed to warm his hands. A college student who said she'd followed the music. A woman with mascara streaked down her cheeks who didn't speak at all. Walter greeted each with the same nod. No questions, no judgment. Maya watched as strangers settled into the room like they belonged there. No one checked their phones. No one asked why. The piano resumed, gentler now, fuller. Maya realized something unsettling. None of them looked surprised. Do they know you? She whispered. Walter shook his head. They know the feeling. Snow thickened against the windows. The city blurred. The woman with streaked mascara began to cry softly. The delivery driver offered her a napkin without a word. Maya's chest ached. She understood then. This wasn't a place people stumbled into. It was a place they were drawn to when they ran out of noise to hide behind. The clock read 11:58. Before midnight, Walter stopped playing. The silence landed heavy, almost sacred. Maya felt it, the way the room leaned inward, waiting. Walter stood, straightened his coat, and faced the group. 2 minutes, he said. The tree lights flickered once. Maya's heart pounded. What happens now? Walter met her eyes. Truth. The clock ticked. The woman with mascara whispered, I lost my son. The college student said, I don't feel like I belong anywhere. The delivery driver swallowed. I'm tired. Each confession fell into the room like a fragile ornament. Maya felt her own truth clawing up her throat, but she stayed silent. Walter turned to the piano one last time. The clock struck 12. Walter's voice was steady when he spoke. 10 years ago, this house was loud, he began. Children, music, hope. He paused. On Christmas Eve, there was a fire. The room held its breath. My wife and daughter didn't make it out. Maya felt tears blur her vision. I kept the light on so they could find their way home, Walter said simply. Then others started coming. He looked around the room. People who needed a place to be seen. Walter's hands trembled. I thought grief was punishment. Turns out it's an invitation. The tree lights glowed brighter. The woman sobbed openly now. The college student reached for her hand. Maya finally spoke. Why tonight? Walter smiled through tears. Because Christmas isn't about what we lost. It's about what we carry forward. Maya stood. Her legs shook. I write stories about hope, she said. But I stopped believing in it. She swallowed hard. My father died last Christmas. I didn't come home. I said I was busy. The room didn't judge her, it waited. I thought if I kept moving, I wouldn't feel it. Walter nodded. And did it work? Maya laughed through tears. No. The tree lights pulsed softly. Outside, the snow slowed. Maya felt something loosen inside her, a knot she'd carried for a year without naming. The light in the window dimmed slightly, like it was finally resting. Walter reached into a drawer and pulled out small slips of paper. "Write what you're leaving here," he said. They did. Fear, guilt, loneliness. Walter placed the papers beneath the tree. "No fire," he said gently. "Just release." One by one, people stood taller, lighter. Maya realized something profound. This was the gift. Not miracles, not fixes, but permission to feel and to keep going. The clock ticked on, but the weight was gone. At 12:17 a.m., the light in the window finally clicked off. No one panicked. Walter exhaled. That's enough for this year. People hugged strangers. Names were exchanged. Promises made. Outside, Maple Avenue glowed with fresh snow and second chances. Maya lingered. "Will you do this again?" she asked. Walter smiled. "As long as the city needs it." Maya woke to sunlight and a message from her editor. She opened her laptop and wrote, "Not a story, a truth. About a light, about grief, about Christmas." She hit send without rereading. The piece went viral. Comments flooded in. People shared their own lights, their own losses. Maya returned to Maple Avenue that night. The brownstone stood quiet, dark, but the street felt warmer. Christmas Eve came again. At 11:47 p.m., a light turned on. This time, Maya was ready. Walter stood beside her. Older, but lighter. "You'll play tonight," he said. Maya sat at the piano, hands trembling. She pressed the keys. The city listened. Maple Avenue would never be famous. But every Christmas Eve, a light would burn. For the grieving, for the tired, for anyone brave enough to stop. And somewhere in the city, hope would find them. For more inspiring stories like this, click the link to subscribe and like.